Welcome back to the Tidarium Hangar. This is Mike and I'm coming at you with another video. This time I want to talk to you about FansToys Magnum, the FT-31B, their take on Wildrider, and I have to say it is a good looking figure, a good operating figure. He's not perfect, but he's really close. We're going to talk about all of this. I got it at Show Z. I'll have a link down below. Let's get into it. First off, let's take a look at the packaging. The box does look good. I love it. I mean, the raised lettering on it, the artwork showing the car mode, the side. It will fit in well with your Takara, but it looks different than Takara. It's its own, like all FansToys. On the back, you can see it actually shows you the size comparisons, but I'm going to do some size comparisons of my own. There you go. It looks really good. I want to show you also the clamshell. So now FansToys has been back and forth between clamshells, and they had one where it was basically the bottom and then plastic on top. Now they have double styrofoam. I actually feel a lot safer about a figure getting shipped with the double styrofoam clamshell. I like that. Here is the instructions, and it does come with a card. I don't usually show that, but I think I should start doing it from now on. Let's take a good look at this guy. I think that he looks amazing. The paint is beautiful, the colors are beautiful. They couldn't have picked better colors, I guess. Of course, the character colors are what the character colors are. Looking at his face, let's get a good look at that beautiful, shiny face of his. It says red paint with purple eyes, and I do want to show you that he comes with an extra screaming face. Let's get that to show up. So how you change that out is popping this forehead off, which it popped off on me a lot, and then you can just pull this bad boy out of there. And then you can take his screaming face out of the baggie and put it on. I'm not really much for screaming faces, but this seemed to be an annoyance of mine that this piece kept popping off. So since it keeps popping off, I'll go ahead and show you. I'm screaming. Okay, going down further from the screaming, this is beautiful. I think this is die cast right here, but silver, the clear blue with some details in the clear blue. Just, I love that. I really love that. In fact, I got some vintage stuff that's got clear plastic that I really am amazed with what they did back then. And I like that people still incorporate it, companies still incorporate it these days. It's got a nice metallic fleck, speckled fleck in the plastic here. I don't even know, that's probably all paint too. No, in FansToys, that's probably all painted. Same thing down here with the red transparent. It just looks so awesome. You see all the little gears and stuff in there down to the feet. His back is pretty clean. I do want to point out, okay, so this is a negative in the figure, and it's such a small negative that I probably shouldn't even say anything, but I will say something. When you just basically have him standing like this, clip his feet together, that's the back of the car. Now, why I say it's minor and it's not a big deal, and I'm not going to be upset about it at all, it's so the transformation is not going to be ridiculous. It's actually going to be pretty decent. The articulation real quick. And when we do that, I'm going to show you the couple of things that you need to adjust when you get out of the box. So first of all, his head is going to go up for transformation, down, left and right, side to side, all around. His shoulder goes to the 90, and you could pretty much go all the way around with it. And that finger of his, we'll get to that. He has a bicep swivel. He has a double jointed elbow. And the thing is, you really have to push this the top part of that joint up first if you want to get the double jointedness out of it, and it is really tight, and then you can get that double joint going, but it's a lot easier to get back down. But it is double jointed. I don't know why it's just so tight. FansToys does have their stuff really tight. With the hands, you can move them side to side. You do have some good fingers on it's not a small figure. He's a pretty premium figure, but you have 2 points of articulation, and you've got the thumb that's opposable. And then getting down to the waist, a swivel but not an ab crunch. And of course, as usual, you get your 90 Ooh, listen to that tight ratchet. It feels tight. Front and back, you get your 90. I didn't quite achieve that, did I? You do have a double jointed knee. Works. You have the universal at the hip. That works. And then getting down with the knee. So one of the things you're gonna see is that you will have to pop this. There are 2 notches in here. Those 2 notches. For bot mode, you tab this tab into the top notch. For alt mode, you slide this down, which is really hard to do, but we'll do that when we do the transformation. But it's shipped in alt mode for whatever reason. The alt mode segment of it slid down. So with the arm, you're gonna have to literally just push it. It's gonna come partially transformed like that, and you slide it down. So those are the 2 things that you need to do when you get it from the transformation. And then last thing really is the ankle rocker, tilt, and all that. You have it all. You have it all with this guy. Here is his gun, and you can do the transformation for the alt mode connection, or you can have it in his hand. And putting it in his hand is the same as pretty much every other Masterpiece Transformer these days. You literally just tab it in and close his fingers over it. But I do want to show you that with his fingers, it's really easy to have a nice looking point going on. And I think it's a lot of fun. And it's a lot of fun for posability and that kind of stuff. All right, so here he is compared to all of the different Motor Masters that are out there. So this is X-Transbots, that one is FansToys, this one is DX9, and I think he will fit in fine with any and all and every one of those. If you don't want to pony up the 220 or 250 or whatever the FansToys one's going for, these other cheaper options are just fine. So here he is next to the 2 available aerial bots right now. Let's get them better into frame there. And I want to say, personally, I feel like the aerial bots are done better than the Stunticons so far, up until this guy. This guy's still a bit smaller, so I don't know about you getting the same bang for your buck. I like the bigger bots, and that's just me. I like big bots, I cannot lie. But this guy is making me sort of like the Stunticon set, just a little bit more. And here he is next to Megatron and Autobot Carbot. So here's the debate. Everyone thinks that FansToys and DX9 are too tall. I feel like they're just fine. I feel like they actually could be a little bit taller and it wouldn't bother me at all. But most people feel like he should be this short, and I feel like I always felt like the Autobot Carbots were just a bit too short. I felt like they were only about 3/4 as tall as they should have been. I feel like all the Autobot Carbots should be this high, but that's just for me, and of course that's not matching Sunbow. But it's up to you what you like. Let's get this guy transformed up. So first thing we want to do is start with the arms. You're going to come right here and you're going to flip this tab out. And what it's going to do is help you rotate this piece here. Now you're going to want to move this around so that you can rotate the fender up. You see how this is now going to give you clearance to rotate it past that. You flip all of this back around, slide it into place, and you have that section pretty much done. Tab that back into place, and let's get the other side done. So go through that, pop this open, flip this around to where you have room. That little notch there gives you room to flip this up that way. Yeah, it's oriented a different direction. There you go, flips this back down, and your arms are in shape. Arms are in good shape. Let's flip around to the back. We're gonna fold this down, and some of this stuff, maybe the first time you do it, is gonna be a little bit tighter. Let's flip the head around to the back, and then we're gonna pull this out. So you untab that little section, and then you have to rotate the neck around because you want the head to go in backwards. And as you can see, you're rotating the neck around. So like if you just left it, if they just didn't engineer that, it wouldn't look right in bot mode, and it wouldn't tuck away back here. So now it's just gonna tuck away into this nice little space, this little cavity right there. Works just fine. The next thing, I'm gonna pull the arms out. So I think this is ingenious, but both of these side fillers are, you move them out of the way to make room to put the arms in. And it's kind of the same kind of idea that they used for the aerial bots. So this side filler, pop it up, you're going to flip it around. Flip it around. and then you're gonna slide it into place. Basically, you want it to be orientated to match the windshield. So when you look at it, it needs to match the windshield, and you see the contour of that, and when the windshield's gonna go down on it. So that is what you need in the end. So let's rotate this other side filler around and put it into place to where you have it in place like so. And as you can see, you're gonna have to make sure it goes into place like that. That's how it's going to work. Okay, next, let's go ahead and do something with this piece here. These pieces, you're basically just gonna fold this over and this over again. Let's see if we can get all that on there. I think this is a good angle to see what's going on with this. Fold this over again, just like that. And we're gonna get this out of the way for a later step. And then we need to take care of these arms. So one thing about with these arms, we're going to slide them in and we're gonna slide the chest pieces in. So flip this little tab up to release the sliding mechanism on the chest. And then before you put the arms in, you gotta rotate the waist, and then we're going to slide the arms in without messing up the paint. Do that as best you can. Slide them in there. And make sure you have the outside of the hand showing right here. And then we're going to move these pieces up and close all of this stuff down. You want to make sure that this bar here goes between those. Fold that over. There it goes. And tab that in place to hold it in place. So now it's good. It's going to up this rear part on both sides. Now, the plastic tab is holding it in place, so you need to push in on it a bit when you lift it up. Don't just crank it up and possibly break it. Now with that, let's fold in this double heel spur, and then we're going to fold this whole foot all the way around and into place like that. Then reclose this, and you know you've done it right when you reclose it, and it works. Same thing over on this side. We're going to see it from a different angle. Double heel spur, lift this up, fold it over, and then let's get it just right. And there it is in there. And we're going to open up this stuff here, get all that working. Open this bad boy up, fold it over. So you got this all opened up. So you had to open that up, fold it over. And then let's do the other side too. We're gonna open this up, fold it out, fold this little tab in. This one's going just fine, but this one is not. There it goes. All right, let's get back to what we were doing. That one was just too tight. Tab them together, and do not break these little red tabs off. So helps to make sure the hands are pushed in real good. There we go. And now we will tab it in to all of the tabs. Takes a little while, just want to be careful. Now we're going to fold this part over, and we're going to lift, I'm going to slide this down, and then it'll tab in to the lower slot as opposed to the higher slot that's in bot mode, and we're there. Yes, we're there. Yes, we're there. Let's have a look at this guy. Here he is in alt mode, and I have to admit that keeping it on frame is my biggest problem. The transformation is actually pretty simple. I probably made it look hard. It's not that hard. So looking at this guy, he looks really good. That is a nice looking Ferrari. Rolls really nice. I mean, this feels like a premium. I mean, this feels like a premium car, a premium just car to display in alt mode. Looks beautiful, just so beautiful. Wow, they did a really good job. It's got the windshield wipers, the red. Okay, so kind of like this, like when we complain about this gigawatt, you see a bunch of stuff going on in there, but they tinted the window, the windshield, and it just doesn't look that bad. That's a better way to go about it. I love the chrome. I love the beautiful paint stripes. I love the paint all over. On the bottom, it looks clean. It just doesn't even look like a robot on the bottom. It is outstanding. This is awesome. This looks good. And the engineering is pretty solid. It's not bad at all. Just all of the detail work in it, the lights, great looking figure. Let's do some comparisons. Here he is with X-Transbots versions, and he's not much bigger than X-Transbots in this mode. And let's get crack up out of the way, but this is FansToys, God, way heavier. Just way more die cast and weight and heft to it. I have to admit, both of these do look good, but I do kind of like the silver on this. I mean, I think this still looks great, but this feels more premium and does look a little bit better design-wise, and the paint still looks great. Here he is for a 1986 movie, set next to Takara, Hot Rod, and FansToys Blur. FansToys Blur is just ridiculous big, but I think that's kind of the way they set up all the 1986 movie figures to be a lot bigger than the old G1 ones. But this looks good. I mean, it fits right in. Super clean. I'm very impressed. Next thing I want to do is transformed up the gun, and we're going to tab it into, there's this little port in the back. Just tab it right into there. Everything is easier said than done. And there it is. If you want to store your gun in the alt mode, you can. It's an option for you. I don't think I will. I actually think I broke an X-Transbots gun by doing it, so I'm not going to do that. This has been the FansToys Magnum FT-31B, their take on Wildrider, and it is an excellent figure. Standalone, without it being part of a combiner, just on his own, he is great. I really like the way FansToys did the engineering. I hope that more of the FansToys figures in the future have similar type engineering to where it's just not too frustrating. It's challenging enough, but not ridiculous or near impossible or easy to break. This thing didn't feel like it was going to break ever on me, although I am extremely careful with them, so I would say, yes, still be careful with it. It could break. Let me know what you think about this thing in the comments below. I've got a link for Show Z. That's where I got this one. Like, subscribe, continue hanging out.